Before the sun sets on her 16th birthday, she will prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and fall into a sleep like death. A sleep from which you will never awaken.
This unsettling scene of baby Aurora being cursed resembles the original animated Sleeping Beauty. In fact, the dialogue of the situation is almost identical.
Royalty, nobility, the gentry, and... how quaint.
Royalty, nobility, the gentry,
And... how quaint.
Yet, in Maleficent, much of the revengeful and compassionless behavior of the evil fairy can be explained by her tragic backstory. In the reimagination of the classic fairy tale, Maleficent has been deceived and used by Stefan, who went on to become a king, stole her wings, and falsely claimed she is dead. He got rewarded for his cruelty. While the 1959 Disney production is undoubtedly a gem, the simplistic representations of Princess Aurora and Maleficent are tiresome and perhaps too dramatic for the liking of a modern viewer. Much has been said about the portrayal of women who are powerful as witches, fairies, or slightly dehumanized creatures. And indeed, this pattern of demonizing beautiful and strong female characters deserves recognition and perhaps criticism. A common theme is that they use magic to retain their beauty and that they reject any real maternal roles.
You see, girls? He would exterminate those brats. I have a plan. Fondro will transform a child into a mouse.
But what is perhaps the most captivating feature of the new Maleficent is that her character captures both the positive and the negative feminine archetypes in a single story. In fact, the backstory of Maleficent resembles that of Queen Ravenna from Snow White and the Huntsman. Portrayed by Charlize Theron, Queen Ravenna holds a grudge against men who have used her and only ever wanted her for her beauty. Thus, she makes it her weapon.
Men use women. They ruin us, and when they are finished with us, they toss us to the dogs like scraps.
In a similar fashion, Maleficent was used for her power and magic, and now she will use these tools against Stefan and take her revenge. So in this video, we will dive into the features of the feminine archetypes in the hero's journey, the positive sides of femininity, renewal, wisdom, and comfort of everlasting riches, as well as the negatives, the anxiety-generating, dangerous, and unpredictable temptation. Hello and welcome back to Backwards Compatible. This is part 5 of the hero's journey. If you are not sure about what the hero's journey is and what it's all about, then I suggest that you click in the link above. However, unlike with the previous videos, you do not need to know the stages of the hero's journey to understand the content of this video, which speaks about the feminine archetypes in the journey itself. So let's get started. The first of the features of the negative feminine has been described by Soma's All-Devouring Mother, which may sound slightly vague, but you have seen the signs of this trait on screen in many characters, especially those that can be easily killed off. In The Witcher, we can see an interesting idea of a girl, Princess Ada, being cursed into a Striga. Ada is a child of incestuous relationship of King Foltest. By the time you meet her, she's a murderous, disfigured, and a deadly creature. She lurks in the night, killing villagers by tearing them to pieces. Facing the pure destructive power of chaos is like stepping into the abyss, and perhaps a Striga is a sinister warning that the fate of those who dare to do so is not the best. Although the universe of The Witcher and Maleficent is drastically different, there is a commonality archetypically represented by a negative female character, a destructive, furious and all-devouring woman. The Striga is almost mindlessly murderous, while Maleficent is purposefully destructive, and she enjoys the anticipatory anxiety of King Stefan as she curses baby Aurora. However, both women act out of vengeance, one consciously and the other one not, with the end result being the tearing apart of another person metaphorically or physically without a second thought or any compassion. The destructive power of both Maleficent and the Striga is powered by resentment.
Well.
A secondary, currently represented feature of the negative feminine could be described as total rejection of motherhood and children. An apt representation of this rejection can be seen in The Witcher in the character of Yennefer, who initially, in order to achieve beauty and power, gives up the ability to have children and realizes her mistake only after many centuries of being a powerful mage. However, we can also see this feature displayed by Maleficent, in that a curse against an infant, an innocent child, can be viewed as an ultimate denial of the archetypical feminine caring nature.
Listen well, all of you. The princess shall indeed grow in grace and beauty, beloved by all who meet her.
But this rejection of children and innocence in favor of other values, often more superficial and material values, is also captured by the witches, and perhaps even more so in Stardust. There, Michelle Pfeiffer plays Lamia, one of 3 ancient witches who wishes to capture a fallen star and eat her heart in order to retain youth and beauty forever.
Beauty. It all seems meaningless now.
The negative feminine archetype, as shown on screen, serves as an agent of anxiety. It makes you feel slightly uneasy. You don't know when is she going to strike. Maleficent resides in a magical forest, a dark forest that can be significantly unfriendly to uninvited visitors, a forest that cannot be conquered, and one that is full of unexpected creatures who will attack outsiders. The feminine has been traditionally seen as dangerous, unknown, lying in the wait for the victim to come, like a patient spider waiting for the distracted fly, or a deadly wolf hoping for a careless wanderer to walk into a dark corner of a forest. The negative feminine archetypes deliver the viewer a feeling of terror and anxiety. Maleficent commands dark creatures and has a spy in disguise. The negative feminine archetype should accelerate your heartbeat as you watch a traveler when he rides in the middle of the night through a dark forest, knowing that the danger lurks. The last negative feminine feature often shown in films is the powerful seductive nature of a female villain. In Mirror Mirror, Julia Roberts plays the evil queen who seduces the king, takes over the kingdom, brings it into ruin only to appease her appetite for luxury, and then she tries to kill Snow White to satisfy her vanity. She is the Temptress, the scheming, plotting material woman of almost supernatural beauty, the femme fatale.
You've spent so much supporting your vanity, you can't afford to say no.
Well, then why don't you snap your fingers and make me a chest of gold,
Everyone has magic within them, but very few discover it and learn to spend it wisely. Trust me.
While Maleficent does not actively pursue the storyline of a seductive female character, the portrayal of the protagonist focuses heavily on her beauty, her extraordinary wings, desired and feared by the people of the kingdom. As a young fairy, Maleficent falls in love with Stefan, and he falls in love with her. She is unusual, she is novelty, she is the seductive unknown, and she is certainly scheming and preparing the greatest pain possible for the men who betrayed her.
And to show I bear no ill will, I too shall bestow a gift on the child.
No, we don't want your gift.
Reason why Maleficent is a film so rich in archetypes is that as the plotline unfolds, the protagonist transforms and displays the opposite traits, giving us a great contrast of the negative and the positive female archetypes. The most important positive feminine archetype that we can find in almost every production that at least partially focuses on female characters is what I would refer to as personified revival. Where previously Maleficent wished for Aurora to suffer so that Stefan loses what he cherishes the most, now she protects the growing princess.
Away. Go. Go away. I don't like children.
Go long.
Go, go, go.
Come here. There's something I need to tell you.
What is it?
There is an evil in this world, and I cannot keep you from it.
I'm almost 16, Godmother.
She befriends her and eventually saves her from the curse that Maleficent herself inflicted. The film subverts our expectations when the kiss of true love is not that one of the prince, but rather that of the fairy godmother, an evil fairy, a loving guardian.
Hello, Godmother.
Maleficent regains her wings. And once she saves Aurora, she has wisdom and the courage to try to refrain from killing the king, the man who took her heart and her freedom.
It's over.
Therefore, Maleficent is now wiser, not self-centered but looking outwards, looking out for the well-being of the people she loves. The positive and the negative feminine archetypes and portrayals are relevant to the hero's journey in two ways. The protagonist has to reject the negative feminine by avoiding temptation, although the temptation is not always represented by a woman. And he has to accept the positive feminine by achieving an understanding of himself and others. A rejection of temptation often forms part of the hero's journey in the stage of the road of trials, that is, the many tests and challenges that the hero has to overcome in his adventure.
How's that? Where are you?
The motif of the hero being tempted away from his main mission is often portrayed in adventure films, and one of those that we are all familiar with is Hercules. Hercules is taken by the beauty of Meg, which will make him oblivious to the fact that she's being used against him.
Next time, don't let your guard down because of a pair of big goo-goo eyes. Oh, it's like I keep telling you. You gotta stay focused and
Much like Hercules, every hero has to overcome some sort of temptation to stay focused and to choose what is right rather than what is immediately available. The woman as Temptress stage of the hero's journey focuses on the dangerous power of the negative feminine archetype and the rejection of what is overly material in favor of more eternal value.
Say hello to Ostara. Hey, Ostara.
The meeting with the positive feminine archetype occurs in the meeting with the goddess stage of the hero's journey. The meeting with the goddess is an encounter with a protective, loving feminine archetype. The figure of a goddess represents all that can be known, and the hero can reach apotheosis, the moment of understanding, when he can comprehend the goddess and its paradoxical nature.
A truth that can't be grasped any other way.
It's the edge, the interface between what can be known and what is never to be discovered because it is a mystery transcendent of all human research. The source of life. What is it?
If you are not sure what apotheosis is, check out part 4 of the Hero's Journey series linked above. But a great example of meeting with the goddess can be seen in Moana. To achieve her final mission and restore the heart of Te Fiti that will save the island and everything that lives in the ocean, Moana has to discover that Te Fiti and Te Kā turn out to be the same person, a giving and loving life force of the ocean, but also a destructive lava monster. So there it is, the dichotomy of the feminine archetypes in the hero's journey, from an evil temptress to a loving source of life, from dangerous chaos, madness to exciting novelty and adventure. Maleficent offers a very accessible and easy to follow transformation of the negative feminine into the positive, while also providing us with a believable backstory for the protagonist. I hope that next time you see an evil female villain you ask yourself, what is the purpose of this character? What role is she really playing in this story? Thanks for watching, and I really hope to enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe and hit the notification button if you want to see more of visual and contextual explanations of the hero's journey. Next time we will focus on the two sides of the masculine symbolism in a storytelling universe. We will flash out the explanation for the reoccurring figure of old wizard, wise king and oppressive tyrant.
I'm Gandalf, and Gandalf means me.